We are loaded up with coffee here at the Oklahomans Video Studio, which may or may not help the following interview. We were talking presidential politics this morning. Maybe not so much.
Yeah, sure. Well,
Kristy Boone, Milam, Ryan Drake here to talk about the next comedy performance at Will Rogers Theater, September 30th, featuring Cubas, or if I'm saying that name right.
Chris Cubas.
Yes. Chris Cubas. Yes. All right. Well, let's start with Chris Cubas. What can you tell us about him?
He looks like the love child of the guy from The Weeknd and Reggie Watts.
Okay.
That's what he looks like. I've been saying that to everyone and they totally get it. He's a really, really funny comic from Austin, Texas. He's been doing comedy for a long time. He's now gone pro. He's no longer an amateur.
Because he's been seen in various outlets on the national level, right?
Yeah, he did a lot of corporate work for a while, and now he's getting into like more club and like touring stuff. He's done a lot of festivals. He recently won the Twitter contest to get on the Comedy Central show at midnight.
Now, how do you win a Twitter contest? Because there's so many trolls and snarking, but his tweet was the funniest.
I mean, if you're familiar with the way At Midnight works on Comedy Central, it's all Twitter-based anyway, and they just find the funniest people. They got the most whatever favorites, and he won the contest and got to go be on the show and got kind of famous for it.
So Chris Cubas will be September 30th at Will Rogers Theater, and we'll bring in Milam right now. He's with Western Concepts, the president of Western Concepts. In fact, I believe I'm having lunch at Sushi Nico later today. Big fan of Western Concepts.
Excellent.
And the Will Rogers Theater is a perfect place, perfect venue for events such as this.
Yeah, it's, you know, obviously we just kind of fell into this relationship, and so, you know, obviously Will Rogers, great humorist and newspaper guy and movie star, so it's kind of a good mix for us, and so we like activity and having people here and enjoying the space, and you know, it's just part of the community. So we're very happy to have the comedy show there, and you know, people come in and have dinner beforehand and just really enjoy it. So we just feel like it's a great synergy.
He mentions fitting in the neighborhood. Will Rogers Theater, I believe, is like 43rd and Western, something like that.
Yes.
But it's nestled into a great district there along Western Avenue. And Kristy will bring you in.
Sure.
You and Ryan partnered up on Red Phone Comedy to produce one that we had last month and then this month. What's behind the Red Phone Comedy name?
Yes, Red Phone Comedy, actually, I'm very engaged in the improv community as well. And Ryan and I have been discussing since the beginning of this year opening a theater space. And Red Phone is a very critical part of you know, communication. If somebody calls the president on a red phone, that means it's a really big deal. And in improv, we take audience suggestions, and the audience becomes a big deal, and their suggestions become very critical to the entire show, and it just kind of made sense. And I ran it past Ryan. He was like, "Yeah, actually, that works." And
simple enough.
That's pretty much exactly how it went. What if we called it this? I was like, "That's fine."
So you guys had an executive board meeting. You're like, "Oh,
yeah. Hey, what do you think?"
We're going with Red Phone.
You know what? It's a comedy name. It's fine.
Right.
Last month, you guys had Spencer Hicks. Is that right?
Right. July.
Doesn't he go with another name as well?
Spencer Hicks, on Twitter he's Spencer Lennox.
That's what that was confusing me.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
There's another Spencer
But
Hicks.
his stage name is also a funny guy.
His stage name is Ginger Dreamboat.
Yeah.
Just saying. But yeah, we had our first show at Will Rogers Theater was his album recording.
So you guys were recording the show there. How'd it go?
It went really well.
Way too well.
It was
too well to the point where I'm like,
perfect.
This show I'm worried about, because that show was amazing.
Set the bar right there.
We set the bar way too high.
Way too high.
Carl's going to be so disappointed.
I'm very sorry ahead of time.
Just so their check clears.
Well, we haven't talked about that part yet. So.
Oh, really?
Just kidding. We'll totally pay him.
We had Spencer come in and record his album. We were hoping for 100, 150 people, and we had over 250, I think, to the point they were wheeling chairs out during the show still, when the show had already started.
It was incredible. And a lot of that has to do with Spencer in regards to people
local
love
guy,
Spencer.
he's very active on social media. People have seen him around.
You get to memorialize your laughter on an album with Spence and
he
Ryan
is the
and Brad
Ginger Dreamboat after all.
He is.
And his kid and wife were there. I mean, it was just
perfect.
so adorable.
It was a perfect night.
It was too perfect.
Yeah.
How many people can you fit in there?
Oh, in theater setting? Probably, 12.
Mr. Fire Marshal, not more than 2 dozen.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Yeah, I think
no
we
more
could
than
get
40.
probably 600 in there.
Oh, wow, really?
If we really crammed them in. When we have the Taste Western, we get 500-600.
Which is another big event. Sure.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
and they moved that now to the 1st of November, right?
17th of November.
17th of November.
Yeah, you guys are dropping all
and
kinds of
this
knowledge
year.
now.
And
Yeah.
then West Fest is actually next.
The 19th.
The 19th,
Saturday,
next
the
Saturday.
19th.
So that'll be really good. And they're doing a VIP space for Yelp VIP and social
Right.
media and media VIP.
West Fest will be a lot of fun. This is the first time this
First
has happened,
time.
right?
Yes. Yeah. We're not sure exactly what to expect. You know, you cram 5,000 people into that space, and we'll see.
Yeah.
But it's a good
It'll
stretch
be
along
good.
Western that should be able to support that just fine.
Yes.
Yeah,
think so.
yeah, we think so.
Yes.
Yeah,
We
and the weather
think so.
should be nice as well by then.
Yeah, yeah.
What is next for Red Phone Comedy?
Great question. Something we've thought a lot about
Yes.
and cannot figure it out yet.
We've
got ideas.
Well, you guys were still just trying to figure out how to get to this place.
Yeah.
Sure.
So beyond that conversation,
right.
who knows,
I
right?
almost did the interview from outside. I,
Right.
mean, I thought that'd be
Step
wonderful.
one was get to News
Get
Okay.
inside.
Step two
Right.
is what are we going to do for the rest of our lives after that? Yeah.
Step 2 might have been get coffee, I think.
Yes, that was very real.
It was critical.
I think that was the second thing I said.
Well, how
was
did
the
you guys
coffee.
bring in Chris Cubas? How did you contact an out-of-town comedian and say, hey, we've got this concept, a series, we have a great venue.
After the first show, I was like, all right, well, this is a real thing. We can start really thinking now.
I was thinking that before the show.
Right, I wasn't sold yet. But I was like, we can bring in.
visionary.
We're not big enough. We're not OKC Comedy. We can't bring in. We
Right.
can't bring in Janine Garofalo, all
Right.
right?
Right.
But we're like, we can bring in. I want to bring in somebody.
Yeah.
And Chris Cubas is someone that I've followed for a long time. I saw him in Austin at South by Southwest, and I thought he was hilarious. And then I saw him again in Tulsa over the summer, early part of the summer, doing a Blue Whale Comedy Festival, and I was like, this guy's so good. Like, he's gonna be a big deal soon. But he's not quite there yet, so he's still in our range. Like, we could
He's still attainable.
yeah, he's attainable for us, and he's down the road from Austin. He didn't have to fly; he can just drive up.
Sure.
So everything just lined up perfectly in that sense. Where
What
it's-
sort of comedy does he provide?
Um,
Observational? Is he making fun of people in the audience?
a lot of observational
a lot
stuff.
of observational, I would say.
He's from Austin. He likes to keep it kind of, Austin-y stuff.
Yeah.
That type of stuff that you talk about. He talks about Whole Foods a lot. He talks about like hipsters and
police.
coffee and the police. Yeah. So yeah, it's stuff that's relatable.
Sure, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, all topics people understand. It's not too in like.
Obscure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Words are hard when you don't have a lot of coffee in you.
I hear you. Kristy, anything else?
Well, I wanted to say in terms of Red Phone, because he said in jest, we don't really know. We actually are looking at the next 6 months partnering, or not, well, the next 5 months partnering with Will Rogers. So keeping that partnership,
Fantastic.
seeing what happens on a monthly basis. We are also considering one of the months being able to bring in a band that everybody really likes, so maybe some live like musical
Cool.
talent, just to break up the things that we are booking. But the whole point of doing this is we have so much comedy in Oklahoma City, and it's very sporadic in regards to you'll have a show at Sauce, you'll have a show, here. There's no permanent home for comedy, improv, be it stand-up, and we want to try and just enhance more community awareness that there is a comedy culture in Oklahoma City, and then strengthen it by providing something that's a little bit more stable in regards to we know that this will be here. Like Paramount's fantastic. They've allowed kids to sit shows. Other places that have been really open to it.
Red Rooster, Speakeasy.
Red Rooster, yeah,
just-
Speakeasy,
just a lot of-
wonderful
yeah.
places that they're open to it. It doesn't have necessarily that theater feel to help people understand the power behind comedy here.
Sure.
And I think for me, and Ryan and I've had this talk in less words than this. I'm a woman sometimes, and we know. Just kidding, that was not a gender specific, it was. Okay, so Carl, when we were approaching, it's because it has that theater feel, and there's so much history in the Will Rogers Theater.
No
and
question
Carl,
about it.
yeah, and just in my opinion, that's an anchor in Oklahoma City, and to be able to ground comedy and then bring everybody together and highlight local talent, bring in out-of-town talent to attract people so they even know how much great local talent we have is a big deal.
It's a good idea. Big, prominent venue and a routine basis. Hey, I know I can find some comedy
Yeah.
here on a scheduled situation. Ryan, where can we find more of you at?
Oh boy, everywhere. Yeah. Online?
Online, on radio, on wherever.
Online, on Twitter, at Rake, R-A-Y-K-E. On KOSU every Sunday and Wednesday nights. I have a couple radio shows and doing comedy as much as I can throughout the city.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Carl, Western Concepts, what all are you guys involved in? I mentioned Sushi Nico, I was name dropping off the top, but Will Rogers Theater. And
Will Rogers Theater, the
Or is it
Lobby
Neko?
Cafe.
Is it Neko or Nico?
It's NACO.
Nego.
But that's the correct pronunciation. However, as long as you show up,
As long as you pay the bills.
we're most happy. We also have the Lobby Cafe, the tasting room, which is a demonstration kitchen in smaller space, the Coach House, and Musashi's across the street. So
All fantastic places.
yeah, you'll see me wandering around that area. You know, it's good. It's kind of like a silver alert for me. You know, just kind of moving around there. So,
I hope you remember that for your stand-up on the 30th, the silver alert.
Silver alert.
Has anybody seen Carl?
Got it.
And Kristy, you're involved in improv?
I am, yes. I'm involved in improv. I have an improv company I started with a couple of friends of mine, Kyle Gossett and Amy Affatone. And we meet every Thursday in the District House in Plaza District at 7:30. It's called the Hubbub Improv Group. And then with OKC Improv, just involved in different troupes and their touring company. The performances will be anything from private bookings to library tours with the Arts Council and the Oklahoma Arts Council, and then opening night at the Okomo in their staged area.
Cool.
It's really fun.
All right, very good. These guys are promoting Chris Cubas. He will be at the Will Rogers Theater September 30th. These tickets begin at $12, or perhaps they're only $12. So go check that out. And guys, thanks so much for stopping in this morning. Thanks for enjoying the coffee. Even if you didn't really like it, thanks for enjoying the coffee.
oh, it was wonderful.
Oh, I feel, yes, it was great because it's caffeine.
Okay.
Totally Tickets is where our tickets online
TotallyTickets.com/Cubas.
Yes.
There you have it.
Yes.
Guys, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.